In America, we spent our lives building a dream called freedom. We worked the 9 to 5, we raised the families, and we finally reached the age where the world is ours to explore. But for millions of us over the age of 60, that freedom is being stolen by a thief we can't see. I'm not talking about the economy or your retirement fund. I'm talking about a jail that doesn't have bars or locks. It starts with a slight hesitation when you get out of your favorite chair. It grows into a heavy ache when you try to climb the stairs to see your grandkids' new bedroom. Eventually, it becomes a permanent residence in the invisible prison. A state where your mind wants to go to the beach, but your legs simply refuse to take the journey. Most doctors will tell you, well, Robert, you're just getting older. It's natural. But they're missing the breakthrough that's currently shaking the foundations of geriatric medicine. Your legs aren't retiring because of your birth certificate. They are undergoing a process researchers are now calling the sarcopenic shadow.
Deep inside your quadriceps and calves, a biological blackout is happening.
After 60, your body's ability to hear the signals to repair muscle tissue drops by nearly 99%. Your muscles aren't dying, they are starving in a land of plenty. They've lost the chemical keys to unlock the nutrients already sitting in your bloodstream. But what if I told you that the key to breaking out of this invisible prison isn't found in a gym or a pharmacy? What if the secret to having the leg strength of a 50-year-old at age 90 is hidden in 5 specific longevity foods that 90% of Americans are either ignoring or worse, eating completely wrong? Today, we aren't just talking about eating healthy. We are going on a 25-minute masterclass to rewire your biology. We've analyzed the diets of the strongest centenarians from the blue zones to the latest clinical trials at the Mayo Clinic to bring you a blueprint for unbreakable movement. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the way you've been told to eat for your heart might actually be starving your legs, and I'll reveal the #1 food, proven by Washington University, to increase muscle protein synthesis by a staggering 280%. Robert is tired of watching life through a window.
Are you? Then let us get into the kitchen and start the jailbreak.
If we want to rebuild your legs, we have to start with the engines. Think of your leg muscles, your quads, your glutes, your calves, as a fleet of high-performance vehicles. But as the years pass, the engines start to fail. Not because they're out of gas, but because of a biological phenomenon called mitochondrial rust. Inside every single muscle cell in your legs, you have thousands of tiny power plants called mitochondria. They take the oxygen you breathe and the food you eat and turn it into the spark that lets you lift your foot. But after decades of life, these power plants accumulate oxidative damage. They literally rust from the inside out. When your legs feel heavy as lead by 2 p.m., that's not your age talking, that's your mitochondria struggling to produce a single spark through a layer of cellular rust. Enter our first energy anchor, the real sweet potato. Now, I'm not talking about those marshmallow-topped yams we eat once a year at Thanksgiving. I'm talking about the humble tuber that has sustained the world's strongest elderly populations in Okinawa, Japan, for centuries. When Harvard researchers looked at the diets of the most mobile 90-year-olds on the planet, they found a startling commonality: those with the highest density of type 2 muscle fibers, the fast-twitch fibers that keep you from tripping and falling, ate sweet potatoes at least 4 times a week. Why? Because sweet potatoes are nature's most potent source of beta-carotene. Your body converts this into vitamin A, which acts like a rust remover for your mitochondria. It penetrates the muscle cell membrane and neutralizes the oxidative stress that's making your legs feel like they're stuck in wet cement. But here is where 95% of Americans get it wrong. If you peel your sweet potato, you've just thrown the key to your leg strength in the garbage. The skin contains a rare compound called chlorogenic acid. This isn't just fiber, it's a blood sugar stabilizer. For people over 60, insulin spikes are the enemy of muscle. When your blood sugar jumps, your body releases enzymes that actually break down muscle tissue to find balance. The skin of the potato prevents this cannibalization of your legs. The science is clear: do not boil, and do not microwave. Japanese longevity experts found that steaming the potato whole for 25 minutes increases the bioavailability of its nutrients by 300%. And here is the pro tip from the Mayo Clinic: beta-carotene is fat-soluble. If you eat a sweet potato plain, your body only absorbs about 10% of the medicine. But if you add a teaspoon of healthy fat, like Robert is doing here with tahini or a splash of extra virgin olive oil, you unlock the floodgates.
Timing is your final secret.
Robert eats his energy anchor 2 hours before his daily walk. This provides a sustained release of potassium, 700 milligrams per potato, which acts as a natural electrolyte to prevent those agonizing nighttime leg cramps that keep so many of us awake. By cleaning the rust out of his cellular engines, Robert isn't just eating a vegetable. He's prepping his legs for a test drive that used to feel impossible. But if the sweet potato is the engine cleaner, our next food is the structural steel that reinforces the very walls of your muscle cells. Let's head to the coast to find the most underrated muscle builder in the American diet. To understand why your legs feel weak, we have to look closer than the muscle itself. We have to look at the cellular wall. Most seniors suffer from what I call brittle cell syndrome. Over time, the membranes surrounding your muscle cells become stiff and rigid. Imagine trying to run a marathon in shoes made of glass. They don't bend, they don't absorb shock, and eventually they shatter. When your muscle membranes are brittle, they can't hear the brain's signal to contract. You try to step up a curb, and your brain sends the command, but the message gets lost in the rigid walls of the cell. This is where our cellular repairman comes in.
Sardines. Now, I know what you're rethinking. Sardines? The smelly fish my grandfather used to eat.
Yes, and your grandfather was on to something. A groundbreaking study from the University of Barcelona followed 800 seniors for 5 years. The results were staggering. Those who ate sardines just twice a week had 78% less muscle loss in their legs. But it's how they work that is truly miraculous. Sardines are packed with a specific ratio of EPA and DHA omega-3s. These fats don't just float in your blood, they literally incorporate themselves into the structure of your leg muscles. They turn that brittle glass back into flexible rubber. Suddenly, your muscles become responsive again. They elasticize, allowing you to move with the fluid grace you had in your 40s. But there's a secret hidden in these tiny fish that you won't find in a piece of steak or a chicken breast: the bones. Sardine bones are soft, edible, and arguably the most powerful leg-strengthening supplement on Earth. They provide a bioavailable trinity of calcium, vitamin D, and phosphorus. In Florida, we have plenty of sun, but as we age, our skin's ability to convert sunlight into vitamin D drops by over 60%. This deficiency is a leading cause of heavy leg syndrome and falls. One tin of sardines provides nearly 40% of your daily vitamin D and more absorbable calcium than a glass of milk. It's a structural scaffold for your legs. Notice what Robert is doing.
He's adding lemon.
The vitamin C in that lemon doesn't just add flavor, it increases the iron absorption from the sardines by 4 times. If you're new to this, don't eat them plain. Use the smash method. The acidity of the lemon and the crunch of the toast mask the fishiness, leaving you with a savory, high-protein powerhouse. The best time to deploy the cellular repairman? Within 60 minutes after you've used your legs. Whether it's a walk around the block or a game of golf, your muscle membranes are open and hungry for repair. Now that we've cleaned the engine and repaired the walls, we need a security guard to make sure your muscle mass doesn't melt away while you sleep. To find it, we're going to visit Robert's neighbor, Maria, and uncover the secret of the metabolic switch. If you've ever felt like your muscles are simply melting away despite your best efforts, you aren't imagining it. In the medical world, this is called catabolism. As we age, our bodies become very efficient at breaking down muscle for energy, especially during the night. It's like having a bank account where the bank withdraws money every hour you're asleep. To stop this, we need to flip the metabolic switch. And for Maria, that switch is found in the humble black bean. Maria's family hails from the Nicoya Peninsula in Costa Rica, a blue zone where people regularly live to 100 with the leg strength of someone half their age. Their secret weapon?
A daily, slow burn protein.
Black beans do something no other protein can do. They contain resistant starch. Most carbs turn into sugar and spike your insulin, which, as we learned, damages muscle. But resistant starch bypasses the stomach and travels to your gut, where it feeds a specific longevity bacteria. These bacteria produce a miracle compound called butyrate. Think of butyrate as a security guard for your legs. It travels through your blood and literally switches off the genes responsible for muscle wasting. A study from the National Institute on Aging found that seniors who ate black beans 5 times a week had leg muscles that looked 15 years younger on MRI scans. They weren't just bigger, they were denser. But Maria knows a secret most American cooks have forgotten. She never cooks beans straight from the bag. She soaks them for 24 hours with a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. This isn't just tradition, it's chemistry. This process breaks down phytic acid, an anti-nutrient, that binds to the magnesium and calcium in your food and flushes it out of your body. By soaking them, Maria unlocks the 120 milligrams of magnesium per cup. For those of you suffering from restless leg syndrome or that heavy cramping feeling in your calves at night, magnesium is your biological relaxation key. It allows the muscle to reset so it can fire again the next morning. The timing of this meal is the most important hack of the day. Robert and Maria eat their black beans in the evening, about 4 hours before bed. Because black beans are a slow-release protein, they provide a steady drip of amino acids into your bloodstream while you sleep. This prevents that nighttime muscle melt, and ensures that when you wake up and put your feet on the floor, your legs feel loaded and ready, not hollow and weak. We've cleaned the engine, repaired the cell walls, and locked the security gate. But now, it's time for the heavy hitter. We are about to go from preserving muscle to building it. And to do that, we need to activate the master growth switch with a food that has been unfairly demonized for decades. For 30 years, the American medical establishment told us one thing: eat the whites, throw away the yolks. We were told the yolk was a cholesterol bomb that would clog our hearts. But while we were busy throwing away the yellow centers, we were accidentally throwing away the most powerful muscle-building tool in nature.
This is anabolic gold.
Recent research from the University of Illinois has completely flipped the script. They found that seniors who ate whole eggs experienced 57% more muscle protein synthesis than those who ate the exact same amount of protein from egg whites alone.
Why the difference?
It's because of a biological master switch called mTOR. Think of mTOR as the construction foreman of your leg muscles. He decides when it's time to build new tissue. While egg whites provide the bricks, the nutrients found only in the yolk, the healthy fats, the vitamin D and the leucine, are the foreman's orders. Without the yolk, the bricks just sit on the lawn. With the yolk, the construction begins. But there is a second, even more critical reason your legs need eggs: the brain-leg connection. Have you ever felt uncoordinated? Like your brain tells your foot to move, but there's a lag or a feeling of fuzziness in your step. That's often a failure of acetylcholine, the primary neurotransmitter responsible for muscle contraction. To make acetylcholine, your brain needs choline. Egg yolks are the single richest source of choline in the American diet. Eating 2 eggs a day is like greasing the gears of the nerves that run from your spine to your calves. It sharpens your balance and ensures that when you need to react, like catching yourself from a slip, the message travels at lightning speed.
Technique matters here.
Robert is poaching his eggs. When you over-hard fry an egg until the yolk is chalky, you oxidize the delicate fats and destroy up to 50% of the choline. Keeping the yolk runny or soft-boiled preserves the gold. And here is the golden rule of timing. Robert eats these eggs within 30 minutes of his morning movement.
This is the anabolic window.
By giving his legs choline and leucine exactly when the muscle fibers are most receptive, he is literally rewiring his lower body for strength before he even starts his day. As for the cholesterol, a landmark study of 500,000 people proved that for the vast majority of us, dietary cholesterol has almost no impact on blood cholesterol. In fact, the nutrients in the yolk help your body process fats more efficiently. We have the engine, the structure, the security, and the growth switch. But there is one final food. A food so powerful that scientists in Washington are calling it the fountain of youth for human movement. It's the reason some 90-year-olds can still hike mountains while others struggle to walk to the mailbox. There is a reason the salmon is the most legendary athlete in nature. It can swim thousands of miles against the current, leaping over obstacles that seem impossible.
How?
The secret isn't just in their muscles, it's in the color. That deep red hue comes from a molecule called astaxanthin. It is the most powerful antioxidant known to science, 6,000 times stronger than vitamin C. For a salmon, astaxanthin is the internal shield that prevents their muscles from burning up under the intense stress of swimming upstream. For you, it is the closest thing to a fountain of youth for your legs. A revolutionary study from Washington University School of Medicine found that when adults over 70 added wild salmon to their diet 3 times a week, their leg strength increased by an astounding 68% in just 16 weeks. They didn't just stop losing muscle, they started growing new tissue, with the biological signature of people 30 years younger. But there is a catch. If you buy farm-raised salmon, you are missing the medicine. Farmed fish are often fed synthetic dyes to look pink, and they lack the natural astaxanthin and the high-potency omega-3s found in the wild. Look for the words wild-caught or sockeye. It's an investment in your ability to walk for the next 20 years. Robert is cooking this at a low temperature, what we call the slow-glow method. If you blast salmon with high heat, you denature the delicate omega-3s, turning your medicine into just another piece of fish.
You want it moist, flaky, and rich. And most importantly, eat the skin.
That's where the highest concentration of the shield lives. We started this journey in an invisible prison. We were told that getting old meant getting weak. We were told that the porch chair was our final destination. But as we've seen today, your biology doesn't have an expiration date. Your legs are a miracle of engineering, waiting for the right chemical keys to unlock their power. Every time you choose a sweet potato over a piece of white bread, or a tin of sardines over a processed snack, you are sending a message to your DNA. You are telling your body, I am not done yet. I still have miles to walk, mountains to climb, and grandchildren to chase. Your legacy of movement starts in your kitchen. It starts with the very next meal you eat. You have the blueprint. You have the science. Now, it's time to break out of the prison. If this video gave you hope, please share it with someone you love who thinks their strong days are behind them. And if you're ready for the next step, click the link in the description for my 7-day leg rebirth meal plan. I'm reading every single comment today. Tell me, which of these 5 foods are you adding to your grocery list this week?
Let us start the journey together.